Okay, folks, I think we are live. Okay, welcome, guys. So I think we're live. Um, have I done something? 1 second, guys. Sorry. No. Right, I think we are live, guys. Just give me 1 second just to set up. Hopefully, you can see that. For some reason, there is an issue with my um, chat replay, but nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead with the session anyway. Yeah. Hopefully, you can hear me, guys. There's 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get set up on my phone. Yeah, I'm just checking that you can hear me and everything. Okay, the chat's working here, but it's not working on my thing. All right, never mind. Okay, never mind. Right, welcome, guys. Yeah, welcome. Okay, sorry for not like announcing. Yeah, this actually live properly. Again, I've been like all over the place for reasons, so I apologize. Okay, in this session, yeah, I'm gonna do the May 2023 Paper One Foundation tier. Okay, and it's a non-calculated paper, guys. So yeah, make sure to obviously put your calculators away, guys. Obviously, bring your pen and pencils, everything together. Okay, and if you can hear me, guys, yeah, let me know in the chat. Okay, I'll give us just a couple minutes, guys, yeah, and then we'll make a start. Okay, the session should last around 1 hour, hopefully, because I don't want it to be a lot of your time. Yeah, we'll just give it just a couple more minutes, guys, and then we'll make a start. Okay. Again, sorry for not like announcing my sessions properly. Um, I think one reason, guys, is that when I announce it, I'm gonna change my mind actually, or for whatever reason, I can't go live. Then obviously it causes a lot of you guys obviously issues, so I apologize about that. Okay. Whereas if I just go live here without giving any notice, even if you miss the live, you're able to rewatch here at your own pace and own leisure. But yeah, guys, we'll just give it maybe a few more minutes. Okay, grab yourself a drink, all that. Come yourself some water here. Okay, and have some water. And we'll make a start in just a couple of minutes. Okay. So yeah, I hope everyone's having a good Easter so far and enjoying their Easter break. Okay. But yeah, it is now obviously crunch time. So yeah, we've got a lot to do. Okay. So far, yeah, there's two of us in the chat. Okay, so welcome, guys. Thank you for being here on your Monday. Okay, but I think we'll make a start now, guys, because I'm conscious of time and everything. So yeah, we'll make a start, guys. Yeah, it's the May 2023 PPF. If anyone wondering, okay, we'll make a start. Okay, and this is question number one. Okay, so question number one, guys. So we're asked to write 38% as a decimal. Well, to go from a percentage to a decimal, guys, we divide by 100. So we do 38 divided by 100, okay, which gives us 0.38 or 0.38. Okay, so 38% as a decimal, guys, is 0.38. Okay, if you're unsure, think of 38 as 38.0 as I teach my lessons. Okay, so 38.0. Okay, the decimal point moves two places to the left, so we get 0.38 or 0.38. Okay, so that's question one done. Question number two, guys. What fraction of the shape is shaded? Well, we've got one, two, three, okay, triangles, okay, shaded here, out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 3/10 or 3/10 of the shape is shaded. Okay, well then if you got that. Okay, so yeah, that's question 1 and 2. Okay, so good stuff, guys. Sorry. Question number 3. Here is a list of numbers 1.6, 1.4, 2.1, 0.5, and 1.3. From the list, guys, write down the smallest number. So here, the smallest number, okay, looking at my place value columns, is going to be 0.5 or 0.5. Okay, because the rest of them here have a 1 in the units column, whereas this 0, yeah, is obviously going to be the smallest. Okay, so yeah. And then if you're wondering, yeah, anyone that's actually wondering, the largest one, okay, would be 2.1. Okay, that would be the biggest, the largest out of the 4 numbers. Okay, so good stuff, guys. Here's your question number 4. Work out -9 add 5, so -9 plus 5. So again, think of your number line in the exam, guys. We've got -9. Okay, because we're adding, we're moving to the right. Okay, we have -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so on and so forth. Okay, okay. So we are doing 5 jumps to the right. We're going to start at -9. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. End up at -4 or -4. Okay, so -9 plus 5 -9 plus 5 is -4 or -4. Okay, so that's question 1 to 4 done now, guys. Okay, so moving at quite a good pace today. Okay, question 5. For us to solve p minus 2 is equal to 3. Okay, so I'm going to obviously rearrange this. But I've got a -2 here. So the inverse of that, guys, is to add 2. So I'm going to add 2 to this side, but also add 2 to this side. So we get p is equal to 3 plus 2. 3 and 2 is 5. So p is equal to 5 is our answer. Okay, and this topic is solving a one-step linear equation. Okay, anyone that wants to do more practice. Okay, question number 6, guys. Okay, Freddie adds labels to this diagram of a circle. We've got a diameter, we've got a circumference, and we've got a center. Okay, explain why one of the labels is wrong. So if I look here, guys, the circumference part is correct. The center part is correct. However, diameter, that's going to be wrong. This should be called the radius. Okay. So should be radius. Okay. Because the radius is from the center to the circumference or the edge of the circle, whereas diameter is the one that goes all the way through. Okay, so that is where his mistake is. Okay, so it should be labeled radius, not diameter. Okay. Here, this is going to be parts of a circle. Okay. So that's question 6 done, guys. Okay. So brilliant. Right, question number 7. Write down okay, three different factors of 20. Remember, as I keep saying it in my videos, guys, a factor or factors of a number is a number or a set of numbers that goes into that number cleanly and crucially has no remainder. So we cannot have a remainder for this. So numbers here, but obviously times to make 20, maybe as that factor pairs. So 1 and 20 make 20, 2 and 10 make 20. Okay, 3 doesn't go into it, 4 does. Okay, 4 times 5 is 20. So all of these numbers that I'm going to circle, yeah, factors of 20. So I'm going to pick here 1, 2, and 20. But you're able to pick, guys, any number that is from that list. So the crucial, okay, word, okay, for factor is we cannot have a remainder when we divide, okay? So 6 is not a factor, okay, because it goes into it, but it doesn't go into it fully, okay? The second it has a remainder, okay, or a decimal as an answer, then it's no longer, yeah, going to be a factor, okay? Right. Question number 8, guys. Okay, so working at good pace today. So 8a, work out the size of the angle marked X. So the key here, guys, is that angles around the point or angles in a full turn, okay, add to make 360. Okay, so the value of X, guys, is going to be 360, subtract or minus, take away 50. Okay, because angles around the points, okay, so let's be careful here. Angles around the point or angles in the full turn add to make 360. Okay, so 360 minus 50, 0 minus 0 makes 0, 6 minus 5 makes 1, 3 minus nothing, okay, makes 3. So x is equal to 310 degrees as our answer. Okay. Next up, okay, it says a student says that an angle of 50 degrees is an obtuse angle. The student is wrong. Explain why. So, an obtuse angle, guys, okay, is an angle that is explicitly, okay, greater than 90 degrees, okay, but less than 180 degrees here. So I'm using it inequalities to help you understand this. Okay, now 50 is obviously smaller than 90. Okay, so 50 is what I call an acute angle. Okay, so the student is wrong because obviously 50 is less than 90. Okay, but yeah, 50 degrees is what I call an acute angle. Okay, just small. Okay, so somebody think like the word acute as in being like cute and small. Okay, if that helps you, if it doesn't, sorry about that. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, 50. Yeah, okay, so it's 50 is less than 90. Okay, therefore it's not obtuse. Okay, right. So that's question 8. Done. Question number 9. So 9 part A. Okay, let's put some coordinates. Okay, write down the coordinates of B. And remember coordinates here, okay, in this here two-dimensional space or space, okay, on this grid is in the form x, y. Okay, so this is how we write it, okay. And where I remember it, guys, is along the corridor and then up the stairs or down the basement, okay. So coordinates of B, we go across to 5 and then up 2. So it's going to be 5, 2, written like that, okay. And that is how we write coordinates, okay, in maths. Next up, it says plot the point okay, with coordinates 4 minus 2 or 4 negative 2. Okay, let's just change the color. Okay, so we go across to 4 and then down to minus 2. So it's going to be there. So that we call that point C. Okay. That's the answer for that. Right, part C now, guys. Write down the coordinates of the midpoint of AB. Okay, so yeah, there's a few ways to actually do this. One way, okay, is to count how many squares we go along, and how many we go up or down, and then halve the numbers. Okay, so what I mean by that is we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we go across 8 in this direction, and then we go down 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to halve these numbers. So half 8, I get 4, and half 2, I get 1. So I'm going to go across 4 from A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down 1. It's going to be this point here. Okay, and that point there, guys, reads 1, 3. Okay, so 1 across, 1, 3 up. Remember, along the corridor, okay, and up the stairs. Okay, that's that. Okay, what about part D? So this is actually a foundation paper, my friend. Yes, a foundation paper. Okay, for GCSE maths today we're doing. Okay, for the Edexolia exam board. Okay, part D goes. Okay, so it says draw the line. Okay, with the equation y is equal to minus 4. Okay, so y is equal to minus 4. Okay, so think about y equals minus 4. It means that we are going to go in this direction. Okay, oops, sorry, not there. Let me just start that again. Again, apologies here that I haven't got a ruler on me. I apologize. Okay. No, I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, honestly, I'm fine. Sorry, it's my nose. I'm fine, thank you for asking. We might not get a chance here to do vector questions here, but if you remind me in a video, I'll do a video on that, okay? But yeah, so minus 4, so we're going to go across like this. And that is the line, okay, y is equal to minus 4 or negative 4. Okay? So that's obviously question 9 now complete. Right, question 10. Okay, so we're starting to get to those high mark questions. This one's is worth 4 marks. Okay. I'll give you guys like a minute to actually read it. Okay. I'll have some water. Okay. So okay, or I'll read it for you actually, and then I'll give you a minute to just have a go. So it says Max sees this special offer in a shop. Buy one large plate and get one small plate for half the normal price. Okay, so read that carefully. So buy one large plate, okay, and then get one small plate for half the price. It says the normal price of a large plate is £2. Okay, the normal price of a small plate is 80 pence. Max wants to buy 6 large plates and 6 small plates using this offer. He has £15. Has Max got enough money? You must show how you get your answer. Okay, so let's obviously break it here, guys, bit by bit. Okay, so the offer says buy one large plate. Let me just make it a bit thicker. Okay, so make the ink tray a bit thick. Too thick. That's better. Okay, so and then gets one small plate for half the normal price. Well, the price of a small plate is 80p. So for half that, guys, okay, we get 40p. Okay, for the price of a small plate using this offer, as long as he buys one large plate. Now he buys six large ones. So if he buys six large, we're gonna have six multiplied by £2. Okay, which gives us £12, guys. And then with each small plate that he buys, okay, the price, sorry, for each large plate, I meant to say to you, sorry about that. Okay, I'm getting my words here twisted then, okay, or tongue twisted. The price of the, yeah, of a small plate obviously is going to be halved, okay, so we divide it by two, okay, from this offer. Okay, so we're now going to do 0.4, okay, or 40 pence, okay, 0.4 of a pound. We're going to multiply that by 6. When we do that, guys, we get £2.40 or 240 pennies, okay, or pence. Okay, so £12 plus £2.40, okay, gives us a total of £14.40, which is less than £15. Therefore, Max has got enough money. Okay, so yes, okay, so £14.40 is less than £15. Okay, therefore, he has enough money. Okay. Yes, you're correct in the chat. Okay, right, so that question is now done. Okay, so remember, yeah, take your time here with these worded problems. Right, question number 11, guys. Okay, so a total of 700 tickets, okay, were on side for a football match. 452 tickets were sold. Part A, how many tickets were not sold? We're going to do 700 subtract or minus 452. Okay, so again, working from left to right. Okay, yep, you're correct. 0 minus 2 I cannot do, so I need to borrow. Okay, obviously, I need to borrow the next non 0. That becomes a 6. That now becomes a 10. Cross that 10 off, it becomes a 9. And I've got a 10 now. 10 take away 2 is 8. 9 take away 5 is 4. And 6 take away 4 is 2. So 248 tickets were not sold, guys. So that's our answer for part A. Again, it was actually worth 2 marks here in the exam. Okay. If anyone wondering, yeah, this is the May 2023 paper for the foundation tip. Okay, paper 1. I appreciate that. Yeah, sorry, attentive. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I can't do IGC unfortunately because I don't really cover that here specifically. However, if you check out here, there's a guy called Ginger Mathematician on YouTube. They actually cover that as well. Actually, do obviously lessons for that as well. Um, I mean, I do cover 058 iteration, but obviously I do it probably not on social media. But yeah, okay, I appreciate it's a bit easier, but yeah, okay. Right, part B. Okay, for a different football match, 297 tickets were sold for £9.50 each. 399 tickets were sold for £19.50 each. work out an estimate, okay, for the total amount of money paid for these tickets. You must show all your workings. So we are going to round our numbers to one significant figure, okay, so 1SF. So 297 rounds to 300, £9.50 rounds, to our nearest whole number in this case, number 10, okay, 399 is pretty close to 400, okay, and then £19.50, okay, rounds to 20, okay, so 300 times 10 makes 3,000, 400 times 20 makes 8,000. Add them together, guys. So we get 11,000. Okay, 0 plus 0 makes 0. 0 plus 0 again makes 0. 0 plus 0 makes 0. 3 plus 8 makes 11. So 1, carry the 1 there. So we have £11,000. Okay. Again, that is a rough estimate, but the actual value is pretty close. Okay. And again, we're about to get to what I'm about to say in a second. Is your answer to part B an underestimate or an overestimate? Give a reason for your answer. Well, we've actually rounded all of our numbers up, so it's actually an overestimate, okay? Because each number has been rounded, okay, to above that value, okay, so it's an overestimate. Okay. This is question number 12, okay? Here are 6 numbers: 13, 5, 4, 9, 3, and 8. Work out the mean. So the mean, guys, remember, is like, the nastiest one. Okay, excuse the pun. That is when we add up all of our numbers and then divide by the number of pieces of data that we have in total. So what does that mean? Yeah, without sounding clever, okay? Just means that I'm going to add up all these numbers. So 13 plus 5 plus 4 plus 9 plus 3 plus 8. And I'm going to divide it by the total amount, okay, of data that I have. So divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or is this here 6 numbers? Okay, okay. So dividing it by 6. Let's work it out on the numerator on the top. 13 plus 5 is going to be 18. 18 plus 4 makes 22. 22 plus 9 makes 31. Plus 3 makes 34. 34 plus 8 makes 42. So you have 42 over 6, and 42 divided by 6, guys, is 7. So the mean, guys, is 7. And well done, yeah, if anyone that got that, okay, in the chat, okay, or in the question. Okay, so good job. Right, question 13, guys. Okay, look at some algebra now. Okay, part A. Simplify 15a over 3. So 15a thirds, 15a divided by 3, or 15 divided by 3 makes 5. And then copy down the a, we have 5a, or 5 lots of a. Okay, part B. Simplify 19 plus 5b plus 4c minus 7b, add c or plus c. So collecting all like terms. Okay, we've only got one constant, so one number, so that's going to be 19. Then we got 5b, take away 7b. So be careful here, guys. That becomes minus 2b or negative 2b. Then I have positive 4c or plus 4c. Add on another 1c, makes plus 5c or positive 5c. So we get 19 minus 2b plus 5c. Okay, so there we go there. Right, part C now, guys. That's to factorize 8d minus 6. So factorize, guys, here means to put into brackets. So I'm looking for the highest common factor of the two terms. So HCF of 8d and 6. Well, they are both even numbers, okay, 8 and 6. So I'm going to take a factor of 2 out. Okay, 2 times what makes 8d? Well, 2 times 4d makes 8d, and then 2 times what makes minus 6? Okay, that's minus 3. So there's 2 not solved. Okay, 4d minus 3. Okay, again, sorry guys, yeah, if I'm going to see a bit fast, yeah, I'll try to slow down here in a minute. Okay, but I'm just conscious here about when you like re-watch this back. I don't want it, yeah, to take up your like a large portion of the day. Okay, but yeah, okay. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll take yeah, a little breather for a minute. Okay, there's question 14 on the screen. Okay, so yeah, I'll just take a few second break. And this, guys, yeah, is the May 2023 Paper 1 Edexcel Foundation tier. For anyone here that is also rewatching or wondering, okay, at this stage, just to remind you. And again, sorry for you for obviously coming out abruptly on my live. Okay, as I said at the start, yeah, obviously, I haven't been like very well organised on my lives. But yeah, okay, we'll try and do as many as we can, okay, as we go through, okay. How many questions are there in total? So there are really 31 questions, okay. Right, this is question number 14. So almost halfway now. So last week, 73% of the tickets sold at a cinema were adult tickets. What part A, what percentage of the tickets that were sold were not adult tickets? Well, here they're just going to add to make 100%. So if we do 100%, take away 73%. Okay, that will give me 27% as our answer. Okay. Next up, so it says some people watched a film at the cinema. The number of adults, the number of children is 2 to 5. Part B, what fraction of the people were adults? Okay, so if it's 2 to 5, again, now be careful again, this is a ratio. This does not mean 2 over 5 or 5 over 2. Okay, the number of people that were adults were going to be 2 parts out of a total of 2 plus 5 makes 7. So 2/7 were adults. Okay, and then 5/7 were children. Okay, next up, guys. Okay, on Friday, 500 people watched the film at the cinema. 70% of these people were children. On Saturday, 720 people watched the film at the cinema. 5/8 of the people were children. So Kazim, I think, yeah, if I'm saying it right here, Kazim thinks more children watch cinema on Friday than on Saturday. Is Kasim correct? You must show your work, how you get your answer, okay? And it's worth 3 marks. So on Friday, kids are going to put F for Friday. Okay. So for Friday, guys, here we've got a percentage of an amount. So we're going to work out 70% of 500. Okay. And to do this, guys, we're going to first of all work out what 10% is. Now, 10% of any quantity means we divide it by 10. So 500 divided by 10, okay, makes 50. And to work out 70%, we're going to multiply or times by 7. Because to go from 10 to 70, we times by 7 or multiply by 7. So 50 times 7, well, 5 times 7 makes 35. And then tag on the 0, we get 350 or 350 children watch the film at the cinema. Okay, so that was on Friday, guys. What about Saturday, guys? Well, for Saturday, okay, yeah, I'll do it here actually. Okay, so S for Saturday. So I'm going to work out 5/8 of 720. So a fraction of an amount. Again, I've done so many of these questions, okay, since September. Okay, so hopefully you're pretty happy here with this topic. Okay, we divide by the bottom and then times by the top. We divide by the bottom and then times by the top. Okay, so 720 divided by 8 makes 90. And then 90 times 5, okay, makes 450. As our answer. Okay. So go back to the question. It says more children watched on Friday than on Saturday. And on Friday, 350 watched the film. Saturday, 450 watched the film. So no, he is not correct. Okay. So since the number of people, okay, of children, okay, is less on a Friday. On Friday is less than Saturday. Okay, Kasim is wrong. Okay, or incorrect. Okay, right. Now on to question 15. So I'm multiplying fractions. Okay, quite a nice topic. Okay, work out 6/7 multiplied by 5/12. Give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so nice and easy. I times the two tops and the two bottoms. So I do 6 times 5 is 30 over 7 times 12 makes 84. So I have 30 84ths. Okay, that is going to get me 1 mark in the exam. Okay, the second mark is for actually simplifying it. Okay, so divide top and bottom by 6. Okay, so divide the top by 6, we get 5. Divide the bottom by 6, a bit more trickier. We actually get 14. Okay, so we get 5/14 as our answer. Again, if you're unsure, let's work out here to the side. Okay, so 84 divided by 6. So 6 is going to 8 once, with a remainder of 2. 6 is into 24, go 4 times, so we get 14. Okay. question number 16, guys. Here is a list of ingredients for making 20 biscuits. Ingredients for 20 biscuits, we've got 150 grams of butter, 100 grams of sugar, and 250 grams of flour. Harry wants to make 60 biscuits. How much flour does Harry need? Okay, well, this is the amount we have for 20. Now, we want to obviously scale 20 to 60. So to go from 20 to 60, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to multiply or times by 3. Okay, so we do 60 divided by 20 gives you 3. Okay, so we're going to multiply the numbers by 3. But all we need to do actually here is multiply the grams of flour by 3. So we're going to do 250 multiplied by 3 or times by 3. Okay, let's work out to the side. Okay, so 250 times 3. Guys, so 3 times 0, okay, makes 0. 3 times 5 makes 15, so 5, carry that extra 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus that extra 1 makes 7, so he has 750 grams. Okay, as the amount of flour he needs to make 60 biscuits. Okay, okay. Question number 17, guys. Yeah, so we're starting to get to those end mark. Okay, question on the paper. Okay, so over halfway through now. Okay, there are 200 counters in a bag. 38 counters are red, 52 counters are blue. The rest of the counters are yellow or green. There are the same number of yellow counters as there are green counters. What percentage of the counters in the bag are yellow? So first step is to work out the number of yellow and of course obviously green in the bag. Okay, and to write that as a fraction of 200 and then times it by 100 to go from a fraction to a percentage. Okay, so if I do 38 plus 52, okay, that'll tell me the number of red and blue counters in the bag. 8 plus 2 makes 10, so 0, carry that extra 1. 3 plus 5, okay, 3 add 5 makes 8, plus the 1 makes 9. I have 90. I'm now going to take it away from 200. So 200 minus or take away 90. Okay. 0 minus 0 makes 0. 0 minus 9 I cannot do, so I need to borrow. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 10. Sorry, guys. It becomes a 10. Okay. 10 take away 9 makes 1. And 1 take away nothing makes 1. Okay. So together there are 110 yellow and green counters. Okay. And because obviously they are the same number, I can divide it by 2. So if I divide it by 2, guys, 110 or 110 divided by 2 makes 55. So there are 55, okay, yellow counters and 55 green counters. Okay. Now the question says or asks us what percentage of the counters are going to be yellow. Well, the number that we have yellow, guys, is going to be 55, over 200. Now a fraction to a percentage, we multiply by 100. So times by 100. Okay. Now this is obviously a bit more tricky to actually work out yet. So let's obviously break it down. Okay. So think of it as I've got 55 times 100 makes 5,500. And then if I divide that by 200, well, I can cancel off obviously the zeros. Then I've got 55 divided by 2, so half of 55, guys. Okay, a bit more trickier. Okay, it's going to be 27.5. Okay, so it's 27.5%. Okay, and again, if we're not too shocking, no harm in working out here to the side. So 55 divided by 2. Okay, so 2's into 5 go twice, with a remainder or a leftover of 1. Okay, because 2 2's make 4. Okay, and obviously 5 is 1 bigger than 4 or more than 4. So yeah, the remainder becomes 1. 2's into 15 goes 7 times, remainder 1. So we have 27, remainder 1, 27 and a half. Okay, and that half is him saying 0.5. So we get 27.5 as our answer. So definitely quite a trickiest question so far, I'd say. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. So yeah, we've got some obviously number work with some fractions. Okay, so yeah, make sure that you're happy with that, guys. And again, obviously revisit any bits that I've just talked about. Hopefully it makes sense. Okay, again, sorry guys for going at pace today. As I keep saying, yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, yeah, you are able to obviously keep rewatching it obviously at your own pace. Okay, but hopefully it makes sense so far. Okay, we are now here getting towards those latter questions here on the foundation tier paper. Okay, I believe you're on this paper. Yeah, from question 20 onwards, this now becomes yeah the overlap section of higher and foundation. So if you are higher, from question 20 onwards, this will be appropriate. Okay, but even actually, yeah, even 18 year, 19 year will still be good practice. Okay, so yeah, no harm in doing that. Okay. So yeah, question number 18. Okay, so Naomi has B bags of apples and C crates of apples. There are 5 apples in each bag. There are 28 apples in each crate. Naomi has a total of capital T apples. So T apples. Write a formula, okay, of T in terms of B and C. Okay, so this is actually quite yeah like a tricky question. Okay, involving yeah forming a expression. Okay. So if she has B bags here and she has 5 bags in each, 5 apples in each bag here, then she'll have 5 lots of B's, okay, in terms of apples, right? So we do 5 times B, you get 5B. And then plus, okay, because yeah, it's obviously going to be the total case, so total means the sum of 28 apples in each crate. So we do 28 times C, so it's going to be 28C, okay? And that is equal to the total number of apples that Naomi has, which is capital T. So capital T, so T is equal to 5 lots of B, so 5Bs plus 28C. Okay, so I've made it yeah, like look easier, but that is quite tricky. Okay, if anyone yeah, maybe yeah, that's what you're doing foundation here that might not see what I've actually done there. But essentially, what I've done here is just connected the words. Okay, so it is 5 apples in each bag, and Naomi has B bags. Well, she'll have 5 lots of B, okay, bags of apples in each bag. So that's where that 5B has come from. So 5 times B, you write it as 5B in algebra. Okay, and then we've said that there are 28 apples in each crate, and there are C crates. Well, 28 times C, okay, 28 multiplied by C gives us 28C. So T is equal to 5 lots of B or 5Bs or 5B, add or plus 28C. Okay, there we go. Question number 19. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so we are now in here, the higher, okay, crossover now. Okay, because this is definitely a higher tier topic here, question 19. Okay, although it wasn't on here, that paper actually has question 1, but I believe here, question, I think 18 onwards could appear on a, sorry, pardon me, on a higher tier topic. Okay, the question 19, okay, so this is a grade 4 question. Here are the first 5 terms of an arithmetic sequence. Minus 4, okay, sorry, minus 5, sorry, 3, 11, 19, 27. Find an expression in terms of n, the nth term of this sequence, okay? So whenever we have this, guys, we're trying to work out, yeah, how much it is going up or down by. So to go from minus 5 to 3, okay, a bit more trickier, we're actually adding 8 or plus 8. From 3 to 11, we plus 8, or we add 8. From 11 to 19, we add 8 or plus 8. And from 19 to 27, we're also adding 8, okay, or plus 8. So this is going to follow the 8 times tables, okay? So it's going to be in the form so far of 8n. So 8n tells us, okay, the 8 times tables, okay, when n equals 1, 2, 3, 4. But we don't want that, guys, do we? Okay, so to work out the second part, okay, yeah, there's obviously a couple ways of doing it, okay? If n is equal to 1, okay, so if I sub in n equals 1 into 8n, we have 8 times 1, which is 8, okay, but our first term is minus 5. So to go from 8 to minus 5 here, a bit more trickier, we actually subtract 13, okay, which in turn gives us a final answer of 8n minus 13. And that, guys, is finding the nth term of a linear sequence. Okay, so when n equals 1, we have 8 times 1 is 8, but the first term is actually minus 5. So to go from 8 to minus 5 is a bit more trickier. We actually subtract 13, which makes our second part of our nth term, which in total makes 8n minus 13. And that's working out the nth term of a linear sequence. Okay, but again, there are a couple of different ways of doing it. Okay, so bear that in mind. Okay, another way here, which is probably I think yeah, a bit more simple. Again, yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't do it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, is it if we work out the term before this term, okay, that will tell us here what this number is. So the opposite of adding 8 is to minus 8 or subtract 8, or the opposite of plus 8. And minus 5 minus 8 is minus 13. So that's what I class here as the 0th term. Okay, and that will end up being the second part of the nth term, which in turn makes 8n minus 13. Okay, question number 20 now. Okay, so we're definitely on the higher tier section now, okay, across the topic. Work out 8.46 divided by 0.15. So I'm dividing decimals. So here I'm going to write it as a fraction, so I'm going to write it as 8.46 over 0.15. Okay. Now I don't really fancy divided by 0.15. I mean it's possible you obviously can do it, okay. But me personally, I'd rather not because it gets a bit messy. So I'm going to times the top and bottom by 100. So I'm dividing by an integer, by a whole number instead. Okay, so I'm going to times the top by 100. So decimal point here moves 2 places to the right. So we get 846. And times the bottom by 100. So we get 15. Okay, so I multiplied top and bottom of my fraction by 100. Okay, and made it into an equivalent fraction. Okay, which I can now work out. So now I'm doing 846 divided by 15, which is much easier to actually work with now. Okay, so we're gonna have 846. Okay, inside my bus stop. Okay, divided by 15. Okay, so 15's into 8 I cannot do. Okay, cross it off, carry it forward. 15's into 84, guys. We've got 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Well, 90 is going to be too big. So it goes in here 5 times fully, which makes 75. And it's got a remainder or a left to be of 9. And then 15 to the 96, well, 15 times 6 makes 90. Okay, remainder 6. But yeah, I'm going to obviously decimalize it now. I'm going to put a decimal point there. I'm going to put a 0 and carry that 6 forward. And then finally, guys, 15s into 60 or zero point 0.6 will be 0.4, okay, or 4. Okay, so the answer we get, guys, is 56.4. Okay, so writing out here, okay, so we've got 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, 105, okay, 120, so on and so forth. Okay, so yeah, write it out if you're unsure. Okay, question 21. So now we're asked to work out, okay, 7 and 3/8 minus or subtract 2 and a half. Okay, so we're subtracting with mixed numbers. Okay, give your answer as a mixed number. So, a couple of different ways here of obviously doing this. Okay, one way is to convert them both into improper fractions or totally fractions, guys. Okay, and you are obviously subtraction. Okay, obviously using the same denominator. Or another way is to do the whole numbers, okay, minus the obviously fractions minus each other, and then combine it together. Okay, so I'm going to show you this second method here because I think it's slightly more easier in my eyes. Okay, although it can get a bit messy. So I'm going to do 7 minus 2, okay, makes 5. Okay, so hopefully we're all happy with that. Then I've got 3/8 minus a half. Okay, so I'm subtracting a half. Okay, now remember, whenever I'm adding or subtracting fractions, guys, the key is to have a common denominator. So here, I can put them both out of 8. Okay, so if I split them here, stays the same. Okay, because at times, so 8 times by 1 is going to be 8. So times the top by 1. Okay, and then the second one, I'm going to times the bottom by 4 and the top by 4. And 1 times 4 is 4. So you have 3/8 minus 4/8 makes minus 1/8 or negative 1/8. Then I'm going to combine it. So I'm doing 5 plus 1/8, so minus 1/8. Okay. Same as doing 5 minus an eighth. Well, that'll be 4 wholes and 7/8, right? And that, guys, is how we subtract mixed numbers, okay, using a slightly different method, okay? Okay. So this one was a bit more unusual, so it's not as common, okay? But if you find it hard yet to obviously convert it into like an improper fraction, okay, then this year is slightly different method. Obviously, be careful here with your negatives, okay. So remember that if you do 5 whole, okay, think of 5 as 40 over 8 or 48. It's 40 divided by 8 makes that, and then subtract 1/8, and you get 39/8, and then 8 into 39 goes 4 times, okay, remainder 7. Okay, so this second method like I'd say is a bit more trickier, but this method I like it. Okay, although obviously it obviously gets messy with like negative. Yeah, you got to be very careful. But if you're happy with like your positive negative numbers, okay, then this is not too bad of a method. But of course, yeah, the normal way, yeah, to obviously change it into a fraction, yeah, and obviously deal with it like that. That's fine. Okay, so yeah, if I did it the other way, actually, yeah, then I would have got what? 8 times 7, yeah, makes 56, plus 3, yeah, makes 59. Okay, so, oh, well, yeah, what would have got 59 eighths minus 502 or 5 halves? Okay, which obviously are quite big numbers here to actually work with. Okay, then I can times, yeah, the second fraction, yeah, top and bottom by 4, and get 20 over 8. Okay, and obviously work from there. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Right, question 22. Okay, so yeah, we're starting to get to those harder questions now, okay, in the exam. Okay, so a cube has a total surface area of 150 centimeters squared. Work out the volume of the cube. Okay, so let's obviously first here do like a little sketch. So yeah, okay, so it's going to be a cube again. Obviously, it's not perfect, so forgive my drawing. Okay, so the key word here, looking at surface area. Okay, now surface area means it's the area of all the faces combined. Okay, so it means the area of the front face, side faces, the back ones, and obviously top and bottom. Now, a cube has a special property such that the area of each face is going to be the same. So if I call, yeah, the length of this one here, so let's call it y. Okay, let's call this, yeah, length y. The height will also be y, and the depth, okay, will also be y. Okay, so the volume of the cube in this case will literally be y times y times y, okay, which will give us our volume. And the question then becomes, guys, is how do we actually work out what y is? Well, using the first statement, okay, the area of one face, so the area of one face of our cube, okay, which obviously, yeah, the cross section is going to be a square. So the area of one face is going to be y times y, right? So I can write it as y squared. Okay, now a cube has 6 faces. So I'm going to multiply that by 6. So I'm going to do y squared multiplied or times by 6. So it makes 6y squared. Okay, because it has 6 faces of equal area, so it's going to be 6y squared. Now 6y squared, guys, is going to equal to 150. And then our job now is to obviously work out what y is. Sorry, 1.120 out. I'm going to put 150. Sorry about that. Okay. So I'm first going to divide by 6 on both sides. Okay, these 6 is going to cancel. So we get y squared is equal to 150 divided by 6. Which again, if you work it out, you get 25. Okay. And the next step, guys, what's the opposite of squaring? Okay, you guessed it, guys. Well done. So I'm going to obviously square root. So I have y is equal to the square root, okay, of 25. Normally, I'll put, yeah, like a plus and minus there normally, which you're right. But because, yeah, I can obviously ignore, yeah, the negative root version, because I'm looking at length, we get 5. So y is equal to 5. So that's our main job done now. Okay, so if y is equal to 5, okay, we can now work out our volume because each side length here is going to be 5. So it's going to be 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters. Okay, so to work out the volume is 5 times 5 times 5. 5 by 5 makes 25, and then 25 by 5 makes 125, okay, centimeters cubed as our volume. Okay, so remember, volume of a cube is length times width times height. But because a cube here has a special property, such that the length, the width, and the height, okay, or the depth, okay, is the same, okay, I can just do, yeah, y times y times y, or y cubed, or 5 times 5, or 5 cubed, okay, and that will give me the total volume, okay. So 5 by 5 is 25, 25 by 5 is 125, okay. That's question 22 now done. Okay, question 23, guys. Looking at frequency polygons, okay, so this is, yeah, it is also on island tier. Okay, question 23. Okay, so I'll just take a minute and just have some water. Sorry, guys. I'm speaking at pace today. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, thank you for the kind comment. Uh, is it Pranav? Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for the kind comment. Good work. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, and thank you for everyone for joining me today. I appreciate it very much. Okay, so question 23, guys. The table shows information about the daily rainfall in a town for 60 days. Okay, so we've got the rainfall in millimeters, and the frequency 8, 24, 30, 11, and 4. So draw a frequency polygon for this information. Okay, now whenever we are drawing frequency polygon, guys, yeah, so I can't even speak now. A couple of points that she mentioned. Firstly, so for the x-axis here, so I'm looking at some group data here. So group data, we're looking at the midpoints of each of these numbers. Okay, so the midpoint of 0 and 5 will be 2.5. So yeah, so 2.5 and then up to 8. So we're going to put across there. Okay. Next up, midpoint of 5 and 10 is going to be 7.5. Okay, and then we go across here, 7.5, yeah, and obviously up to 24. It's going to be there. Okay. Next up, the midpoint of 10 to 15 will be 12.5. Okay. Number 13. There. The midpoint of 15 and 20 is going to be 17.5. That's going to be 11. It's going to be bang on there. And the midpoint of 20 to 25, guys, is going to be 22.5. That's going to be 4. Okay. And then what we do now, guys, is obviously I haven't got my ruler actually, so I apologize. Is we're now obviously join it up here, so the points up, okay, with a ruler, of course. Again, forgive me if mine's not perfect, I apologize. Okay, yeah, forgive me for that, okay, but that is what it should look like. Your frequency polygon. Okay. Again, it's not perfect. You're able to forgive me, okay, but make sure to use a ruler in the exam. Okay, and also, guys, yeah, sorry for not actually mentioning it in the live so far, but yeah, so to work out the midpoint, okay, we add the numbers together on the end range for what we call our group data, and then we half it. So to work out the midpoint of 0 and 5, we do 0 plus 5, which is 5, and then we half it. So divided by 2, we get 2.5. Okay, so if it helps, write up your midpoints in like a different column. So 2.5, 7.5, 12.5, 17.5, and 22.5. Okay, for what we call our midpoints. Okay, so yeah, okay, this topic here, looking at plotting frequency polygons. Okay, this topic here, I believe, is only on edX and possibly I think OCR. I don't think it is on the A2A spec, so I apologize about that. But yeah, frequency polygon, I think is only on edX. Right. Looking at some Venn diagram. So, got 24. Uh, yeah, this one, yeah, I think part B, yeah, because I can't actually do it. But yeah, I have to skip. Um, that's fine. Um, we'll do what we can, guys. Yeah, and then I think yeah, we'll call it a day in a bit. So, question 24. Okay, so we got the set. Okay, epsilon. So Greek letter here for E. Numbers 1 to 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A is a set of odd numbers. B is the square numbers. Okay, set of square numbers. Part A. Complete the Venn diagram for this animation. Okay, you've got odd numbers and yeah, you've obviously got square numbers. So 1 is both an odd number and square number. So it goes in the middle. Okay, 1 squared is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. And of course, it's odd. 2 is not an odd number, it's even and it's not square. So it goes inside my box or rectangle, but outside my circle. 3 is an odd number, okay, but it's not a square number. 4 is an even number, but it is a square number, so it goes inside B. 5 is an odd number, but it's not a square number. Okay. 6 is neither odd or a square number, so inside my box, but outside my circle. 7 is an odd number, but not a square number. 8 is neither odd or square, so goes here. 9 is actually both odd and a square number, okay, because 3 times 3 or 3 squared makes 9. And 10, guys, unfortunately, is neither odd or a square number, so it goes inside my box or rectangle, but outside my circle. Okay, that was actually worth, yeah, 3 marks. Right, next up, part B. So a number is chosen at random from the universal set of E, okay, or epsilon. Part B, find the probability that this number is in set B dash. Now B dash means the complementary of B, so not inside B. So basically anything that is not inside, okay, this circle here. Okay, so all the numbers here that are not inside this circle here. Now to make it easier, rather obviously count here all like numbers, well, 3 numbers are going to be shaded here out of 10. Okay, so the probability that it is B will of course be 3 over 10, but not B will be 7 over 10. So B dash means the complementary of B, so not B, so we have 7 tenths, so 7 over 10, or 0.7 or 70%, or any equivalent fraction. Okay, so B dash means not in B. Okay, so not B or not in B. Okay, I've obviously coloured obviously B, but we are looking for everything here that is not the white space. Yeah. Okay. Right. Next up, okay. I am gonna skip my share 25 here because yeah, it's gonna be a bit trickier to do part B on here. But for part A, I can do part A, but I can't really do part B very well because I haven't got like a ruler. Okay, so 25. The scatter graph shows information about ages and weights of some babies. We obviously got weight in kilograms and we've got ages in months. Okay. This is part A. Describe the relationship between the age and the weight of the babies. So as the age of the baby in months, okay, or as the baby gets older, it weighs more. Okay, essentially, yeah. So as the baby gets older, or yeah, or you could say that grows, yeah, grows. Okay, but yeah, I'd say in this case yeah, to avoid any ambiguity, gets older because we're looking at age. Okay, it weighs more. Okay, or the weight increases. Okay. Part B is going to be a bit trickier because I haven't got a ruler here, so I apologize. Okay, but if I draw it on the screen here, okay, it isn't going to be on. It's not good. It's very hard to draw freehand. I apologize, which is why I can't do this question. Okay. Oh, that's not very good either, actually, but I apologize. Okay. Oh, man, that's even worse. But basically, yeah, for part B, you would draw like a line of best fit, okay, which I can't do on here, I apologize. Okay, I tried my best. Okay, nope, because that one's not really even. Okay, that's probably the best that I can do, so I apologize for taking a while. Okay, so if you read off that, guys, and read 5.8, okay, which is somewhere around here, I would say, yeah, obviously that's going to be 3 there. So maybe, yeah, okay, the answer I'd say, yeah, is near, okay, 3.9 months or 3.8. Okay, again, that was, yeah, very, yeah, obviously not the greatest sketch, so I apologize. But yeah, okay, but again, so yeah, so that part, yeah, I'm going to put a star here because I can't do it properly without a ruler. But yeah, make sure, yeah, you obviously draw, yeah, like a line of best fits. Okay, there is obviously, yeah, okay, yeah. Alright, so how we do the questions? Yeah, okay. Because I've actually done like a video on this one already. Okay, so I'm gonna actually skip this one here just for now because I've done a video on this already. Okay, but yeah, this is a reverse percentage problem. Okay, we'll do question 27, 28, 29, 30, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, right, question 27. Okay, so the diagram shows a solid cylinder on a horizontal floor. You've got pressure, force, and area. The cylinder has a volume of 1,200 centimeters cubed and a height of 40 centimeters. The cylinder exerts a force of 90 newtons on the floor. Work out the pressure on the floor due to the cylinder. So pressure is force over area. Well, we know what the force is. Do we know what the area is? Not yet. But can we work it out? Yes, we can. Because we're obviously given a volume of a 3D shape, which is a cylinder. It'll be 90 divided by the area, which we are going to work out in a second. Okay. Now, the volume of a cylinder, okay, if you forget, yeah, is the area of the cross section. So the area of its front face, which is a circle, which will be pi r squared, okay, multiplied by the height, okay, or how deep it is. Okay, so yeah, the height's going to be 40. So we got 1,200, so our volume is equal to pi times the radius squared times the height, which is going to be 40. Okay, so I'm going to divide by 40 on both sides. So I'm going to cancel off a 0 there and a 0 there. 120 divided by 4 makes 30. So you have 30 is equal to pi r squared. Divide through by pi, so we have 30 over pi is equal to r squared. So r will be the square root of 30 over pi. Okay. Oh, actually, no. We don't actually have to work out the radius here, but yeah, I've done that actually anyway. A little trick here is look at our units here, guys. Yeah, sorry, I spotted that. Units here, centimeters cubed, and I've got centimeters there. So if I do this divided by this, that'll give me the area. So the area in this case will be 30 centimeters squared. Okay, for the cross section. Okay, so now I do 90 divided by 30. So count obviously the zeros. 9 divided by 3 is just 3. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so the pressure, okay, is 3 newtons per centimeters squared. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so what I did was here, I referred to my units in the question. Because I got a volume and I got a height, the area times the height will give me the volume, right? So in other words, 1,200 divided by 40 will give me 30, which is what the area is, right, of the cross section. So pi r squared is equal to 30. Okay, so the area of the circle in this case here, which is a cross section, is equal to 30 centimeters squared. Okay, we're not actually working out the radius here, radius here, so I apologize. Okay, but yeah, we'll just work out the area of this. Okay, so yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, for not doing actually very well there, but hopefully that makes better sense now. Right, question number 28. Okay, again, I've done this here in like a video. Yeah, I'll go over here pretty quickly. Okay, so question 28. Okay, use the graphs to solve the simultaneous equations 2 minus 2y equals x and 2y equals 3x minus 22. Okay, so it's where the two lines intersect, so where they cross. So it crosses here. So the coordinates will be along the corridor and then down the basement. So along to 6 and down to minus 2. So the coordinates or the solutions will be x equals 6 and y equals minus 2. Okay, and that is solving, okay, simultaneous equations graphically. Right, okay, so last two questions, yeah, and so we're going to call it a day. Okay, I mean, I was actually planning on doing this here in less than an hour, so I apologize for going over the hour. Okay, but yeah, no harm in doing it. Question 29, guys. Work out the value of 4 to the power minus 6 times by 4 to the power 9 all over 4. Okay, so here I'm going to be using my index laws to simplify the numerator and the denominator. So the numerator, now when I'm multiplying, guys, with the same base, the base here is 4. I'm going to add my powers, I'm going to add my indices, I'm going to add my exponents. So on the top, we have 4 to the power of minus 6 plus 9. Okay, minus 6, add 9, or minus 6 plus 9 makes 3. So I have 4 to the power of 3 or 4 cubed, and I'm dividing it by 4. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense so far. Next up, guys, okay, I've got a couple of other options here. Now, 4 cubed here just means 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, now if I'm dividing all this by 4, well, I can actually cancel off, okay, on the top and bottom. So I can cancel a 4 off here and a 4 off here. So that obviously goes to 1 and 1. I have 4 times 4 times 1, or 4 times 4 is 16, times it by 1 I get 16 over 1, and anything divided by 1, guys, is just itself, so 16 over 1 is just 16. Okay, so that's question 29 done. Okay, question 30, guys. Okay, last question of the day. Write down the exact value of cos 60. Okay, I'll give you, yeah, just a second to think about what that would be. Okay. So cos 60, guys, okay, this is our exact trig values topic, is equal to a half. Okay. Now, this is one of those weird topics here that there is actually lots to actually remember. Okay, personally, I recommend here. There's a really good video actually here on TikTok here made by my GCSE Maths. Okay, on how to remember your exact trig values. So please check out your on his page, guys. Okay, there's also here like a table method here, or like here the two triangles here to remember it. But yeah, okay, that is my advice there. So yeah, cos 60 is a half, guys, same as sin 30. Okay, and it's to do with yeah, knowing obviously your triangles, your angles here in a right angle triangle. So yeah, you've got 90 there. Okay, we can put yeah 30 and 60 there. Okay, so yeah, you have the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Okay, so this is equal to basically yeah, so it's going to be 1 root 3 and 4 triangle. Okay, and then yeah, so yeah, cos 60 will obviously be, oh sorry, 1, 3 and 2, sorry, not 4, 1, 3 and root 4, I meant to say, so 1, 3, 2, sorry, 1 root 3 and 2 triangle. So root 3, 1 and 2, right hand there, that's going to be 60. Okay, so yeah, okay, but yeah, I'd say yeah, just obviously yeah, recommend my GCSE maths here on there. Okay, but yeah, there are ways here to obviously use triangles here to obviously deduce it. Okay, from a 2 by 2 by 2 okay, triangle. But yeah, I don't actually like boy or actually confuse anymore. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense, guys. And that brings us here to the end of this paper. Now, I have actually missed actually one question, so I apologise. Okay, but I have done a video on this topic here. So this topic here is reverse percentages. Okay, so check out yeah my video on my page. Okay, but hopefully that makes sense, guys. Yeah, keep it alive. But yeah, if I just do it actually quickly, yeah, okay, and there's no harm in doing actually. So question 26 here, the price of a holiday increases by 20%. This 20% increase adds on £240 to the price of the holiday. I got the price before the holiday. So the 20% increase scheme means that I've got 100% plus 20%. So the new price, okay, is 120%, okay, and that's equal to £240. And our job is to work out how much 100% would be worth, okay, which is the original, okay, before the increase. So a couple of different ways, yeah, of obviously doing this. So I'm going to yeah, divide this by 6 here to scale it down. Okay, so 120 divided by 6 makes 20%. And I'm going to do 240 divided by 6. Okay, or 24 divided by 6 makes 40 pounds. And I'm going to scale it up, okay, from 20 to 100. I'm going to multiply by 5 or times by 5. I'll do 40 times 5. And when I do that, you get £200, okay, which is the price of the holiday before the increase. Okay, I did actually pretty quickly there. But hopefully you can see where I've got that from. Okay, And that, guys, finally takes us here to the end of the paper. Again, sorry that I couldn't be here the part B here from 25 because I haven't got my ruler with me. Okay, but yeah, that concludes. Oh no, sorry, there's one more question. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, I missed this here. So there is one more question. I apologize. Question 31. And I'm going to end the live here because we're obviously conscious of time. Okay, but well done, yeah, if you're sticking with me throughout the session, if you've been here throughout, okay, well done. And I'll class that, yeah, as your math revision done for the day. Okay, pick your foundation or even higher as well. Question 31, okay, sorry about that. The probability diagram, okay, tree diagram shows the probabilities that Shyla or Shyla, sorry, work at home or work at the office on the 2 days next week. Okay, so we've got Monday and Friday working from home or the office. Okay, so we've got 0.2, 0.8, 0.7, 0.3, 0.3, and 0.3. So it says work out the probability that Shayla or Shyla will work at home on Monday and work at the office on Friday. So on Monday, the probability that she works from home is, sorry, work from home actually is 0.2. So it's going to be this one here. And the probability that she works in the office on a Friday is 0.3. Okay, so let's just double check here, make sure you've got Monday and Friday. So we're going to do 0.2, 0.2 multiplied or times by 0.3. Okay, so be careful here, guys. Yeah, okay. I'll give you 0.06 or 0.06. Okay, so the probability here that Shyla will work from home on Monday, okay, and work in the office on Friday is 0.06. We got that from the tree diagram, okay, and we multiply it across the branches. When we see the word and, okay, not always here, when we see the word and, we multiply it. The word or means to add, okay, but that's not always the case. Okay, so bear that in mind. But yeah, when we go across our branches, guys, we multiply. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay, that now concludes today's session, guys. Okay, so well done. Okay, you're able to take a breather now. Okay, so that's paper one done. Okay, we're hopefully going to do some more, yeah, lives in the future. Okay, and again, sorry for not being actually very well organized. But yeah, that was our paper one foundation tier from the May 2023 series. We are going to call it a day. Okay, so thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for watching all the way through. Okay, if you watch it on the playback here, thank you very much for watching the playback. But other than that, guys, have a great rest of your day. Okay, enjoy your Easter. Happy Easter Monday. I shall see you all very soon. Okay, bye for now. Take care. All the best. Bye for now.